Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back to my kitchen. Today's video is sponsored by HelloFresh, the food delivery service that brings pre-portioned and fresh ingredients right to your doorstep so you can make a meal in about 30 minutes. HelloFresh saves you a ton of time with easy to follow step-by-step instructions. Pre-portioned ingredients means less food waste, also less cleanup and less prep. HelloFresh offers veggie, pescatarian, and fit and wholesome meals, which makes it really easy to stick with your goals. So treat yourself with premium picks, a changing collection of top-of-the-line recipes offered each week. Also, HelloFresh's packaging is made from already recycled content. And this week, my family's favorite recipe was the black bean and poblano flautas. So if you'd like to try HelloFresh for yourself, go to HelloFresh.com and use my code emmymade16 to receive up to 16 free meals and 3 surprise gifts. Big thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video and for their continued support. Now today I'm going to be cooking with eggs. Now I have a lot of videos that are related to eggs because eggs are wonderful. They're a multifaceted ingredient. They're inexpensive, they're tasty, and they are nutritious. There are so many wonderful things that you can do with eggs. They are integral in so many recipes. They get your souffle to puff, they get your jiggly cheesecake jiggly, and they make scrambled eggs, which are just so fast and easy to cook and delicious. Now today I'm going to be making a scrambled egg recipe that involves water. We're going to be cooking our scrambled eggs in water. I saw this recipe and I said, what? I have never cooked eggs like this before. I have drizzled eggs into soup for like an egg drop soup, but I have never purposely done this to create scrambled eggs. When I saw this recipe, I knew I had to try it. It's from Shaoyin Cuisine. I'll put a link down below to the original recipe, and it looks delicious. The eggs look fluffy and yellow, and they also make a sauce to accompany it. So first I'm going to make the scrambled eggs, and then we are going to make the sauce, and then we will taste them separate and together to see what this is all about. So let's go ahead and get started. To begin with, we need 4 eggs, and I'm going to crack them into my bowl. And this is about 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of vinegar. The vinegar is supposed to remove any gamey smells, and then we're going to beat that. And I'm going to use a pair of chopsticks. Do this a few times to break up any of that stringy albumin. So I've got a nonstick saucepan, and I'm going to bring some water up to the boil. They said half a bowl. I'm assuming that's about, but I think we want about 1/2 inch of water. I'm going to bring this up to the boil so we can pour in our eggs. It sounds absolutely bonkers, but when I watched the video, it looks totally conceivable, and the resulting eggs look fluffy and light, and I don't know, we're just gonna go with it, okay? Because my pan is nice and large and flat, I didn't have that much water. My water's come right to the boil. Okay, here comes the nutty part. Look at that. Into the water, right into the boiling water. Use a spatula and just nudge it around gently. And it's scrambling. It is. We're going to reduce the heat to a simmer. I'm going to switch to my silicone scraper so I can make sure that nothing gets stuck on the bottom here. In water. A great way to assure that the eggs don't get overcooked. You know what I mean? They don't get too dry. Speaking of potentially dry scrambled eggs, I did a recipe not that long ago about the best way to cook scrambled eggs. I'll put a link down below. It was Mandy Lee's recipe. Very interesting. So it looks like our water, or the liquid that's remaining, is almost clear. We're going to drain the excess water, and look how fluffy the eggs are. Oh my gosh. And jiggly. Beautiful. So the original recipe also includes a sauce, but I'm so curious to see the texture and the flavor of the eggs before we add anything. So let's go ahead and give them a taste. They look just like scrambled eggs. I would have never known in a million years that these were cooked in water. Like, look, just like scrambled eggs. See? Itadakimasu. Delicious, eggy flavor, a little light on the salt, very tender, very moist, but moist in a different kind of way. Very different from Mandy Lee's recipe, which had a very creamy texture. These are not dry, they're not rubbery, which are the indicators for me of an overcooked scrambled egg. This recipe has more of the moisture on the outside of the cooked egg. The flavor is quite good, although, as I said, this does need a bit more salt. And I think to finish this with a bit of butter or some kind of fat to give it an extra amount of richness would be welcomed. But all in all, quite a novel way to make scrambled eggs. Now, this is not the complete recipe, so let's go ahead and make the sauce that accompanies this. And in case you were wondering, I did not taste any of the vinegar, no kind of tangy flavors whatsoever. I did feel like the kind of yolky flavors were a little bit diminished. The kind of sulfurous yolky flavor were a bit kind of toned down, in case you're interested. I have the same pan that I was using before. I just rinsed it out. A couple tablespoons of just neutral flavored oil. Some pork. Once the pork is no longer pink, about a half stalk of celery that I've chopped up, same amount of carrot, very finely chopped, green onion, and some garlic. So while that's cooking along, I'm going to use some cornstarch and make a thickening slurry, which is 2 parts water, 1 part cornstarch. And we're going to use that to thicken this into a sauce. Now we're going to add about 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of MSG, 1/4 teaspoon of sugar, and 1/4 teaspoon of chicken bouillon powder. Half a bowl of water, a teaspoon of oyster sauce, some soy sauce, and some dark soy sauce. So we're going to bring that up to a simmer. Now we're going to add some of our cornstarch to thicken this up into a sauce. Reduce the heat just a little bit. And this works almost instantly. And that's it. That's our sauce. Alrighty, my lovelies, let's give our eggs a taste now that we've made this sauce. Into the plate. It looks pretty luscious. I imagine this would be eaten with a bowl of rice or some other kind of starch, not just like this, but this is how I'm going to taste it. Itadakimasu. Yeah, that's good. I like it with a sauce. I see now why the eggs, when I tasted them alone, tasted under-seasoned. Because we were adding an additional sauce, if we added more salt to the eggs, then it would have been too salty. But if you were just going to make this without the sauce, I would suggest adding more salt to your scrambled eggs as they are. I've got it now. Now I know what the texture of the eggs remind me of. They remind me of the reconstituted scrambled eggs that you get inside of a cup of noodle, like that. They're a little bit squishy, a little bit spongy. And when you bite into them, they have moisture that kind of squishes out of it. That's what these are like. It's not a very attractive description, but I believe it's apt. That's what they totally remind me of. These are a little bit more tender than those though, and they have a fresh egg taste rather than a dehydrated egg taste. The sauce is lovely. It's savory, slightly porky, garlicky, oniony, and the celery was surprising to me, but it adds a nice facet of celery flavor in there. Pork, I think, is a really great complement to the eggs. If you think of breakfast, when you have sausage and eggs, that combination of proteins is just really complimentary, so it works really well. All right, my lovelies, thanks so much for watching, and big thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to try HelloFresh for yourself, click a link down below or go to hellofresh.com and use my code emmymade16 to see how you can receive up to 16 free meals and 3 surprise gifts. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. I love hearing from you. I get so many great suggestions. Like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo. Take care. Bye. Eating with chopsticks is such a joy. You can pick every little nugget up and eat it like that. It's just, it can be as delicate or as, efficient as possible.